Hi. Today I wanted to talk about how to fall in love with a language. Now you might be wondering why I use the term falling in love with a language because normally falling in love we use it when we want to talk about falling in love with a person. But actually falling in love with a person and falling in love with a language have a lot of similar features. First, it's a long-term relationship and it entails time, energy. Sometimes it's exhilarating, sometimes it can be a little bit frustrating. But the real point is that in order to fall in love, you have to know why. You have to have a spark which is ignited. And I wanted to talk today about how my spark for Hungarian was ignited in 2007. I was there, I visited Hungary, actually Budapest, for the first time with my friends. And I found the city absolutely beautiful. But the thing that struck me was not the fact that the beauty. I was not only struck by the beauty of the city. I was struck by the experiences I had, for the good and for the bad. I had one of the best dancing nights of my life, as I describe in the article. You can check the link below if you want to read it. And I also had some bad experiences, like, for example, being taken for a Syrian refugee and being interrogated at the airport, or being pepper sprayed by some bouncers. But this didn't keep me from, getting a yearning, getting infatuated with the language. And it was infatuation, it was still not love. You know that Hungarian is considered as the hardest language of the world, or one of the hardest languages of the world. But to bear with the love metaphor, let's suppose that you are a party and you're a guy and you see a very beautiful girl and you tell yourself, I will never get that girl. And your friend actually reinforces that conviction by saying, man, she's too beautiful for you. That's the same thing as saying that somebody says that a language is too hard to get, too hard to learn, and you delude yourself into thinking that that's actually true. But you have to listen to your inner voice. And if you find a spark, if you're really fall in love with a person, the fact that she is too beautiful for you or the language being too hard doesn't count anymore. That's what really counts. And in order to ignite that spark, you have to find a reason. If you haven't found a solid reason or solid reasons, keep looking. For me, one of the things that push me towards the language is not so much as how it sounds. That it does help. Its grammar and stuff. It's more about the experiences that I have, the things that are represented by that language. To me, go visiting the country and talking to people and having experiences is the most important thing, even before the language itself. And it really depends on the individual. It could be that for you, reading a book of history of that country, or like you like the food, or you talk to a person, can be the igniting spark. Everybody is different, but once again, you have to keep looking and you have to know exactly why you want to embark on this romantic story. This is absolutely important. And another thing is that it's a long-term project, so to say. It's a long-term quest, so you have to give it daily care. So much as you give daily care to your partner, you have to understand how to give daily care to a language. In order to do that, you have to have some kind of plan. You have to have some kind of objective, long-term goals. And for example, for me, Hungarian, my long-term goal is I want to reach fluency in 2 years. Now, what do I mean by fluency? Fluency is a very subjective term, but if you want to see, it's clear. The important thing is that it's clear for me. I give myself a definition of fluency. You can check my article about how to reach native-like fluency to see what basic fluency and fluency are for me. And so if I have this goal in 2 years, I also can imagine my trip backwards. And I can think, okay, my midterm goal is to reach basic fluency in 1 year, and my short-term goal is to finish Assimil in 4 months. And I set a date. So I have the starting point, I have the final destination, and I can imagine my trip backwards. I started learning Hungarian officially on the 4th of December. And I'm sorry, for 4th of November. And from that moment on, I knew that I would learn and give daily care to Hungarian. And also, you have to know how to keep this love story going. So knowing exactly why is the first step, but you also have to know how to deal with that. So even if Hungarian is supposed to be a very hard language, it's quite different from Italian, from my native Italian. I know exactly how to deal with that because I apply my method, which is called the bilingual. I call the bilingual translation, which I'm applying to Hungarian, and I'm having a blast with it because I'm learning faster than I have ever done with any other language. So just to recap, falling in love with a language is like falling in love with a person. It follows some important rules. You have to understand exactly why. It doesn't have to be just an infatuation. Otherwise, it might turn into some kind of summer fling, which disappears very quickly. And in order for the love story to continue, you have to give it daily care. You have to know where you're going, and you have to know how you're going there. And to finish this, I wanted to quote Gary Chapman, who said that love is a choice that we make every single day. Thanks for listening.